Oh, thank you, Sarah. Well, the deadly tornadoes have caused physical, emotional, and financial damage. And now they are taking a toll on the nation's economy. For more on this, let's bring in our favorite money men, business and markets analyst and Newsmax contributor Seth Denson, and America's accounting professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Morning,
Thank
Alex.
you.
All right, guys, let's first take a look at the markets. The Dow Jones took a hit yesterday, losing more than 320 points. S&P also landing in the red, and futures are mixed ahead of trading. Dan, is this a new trend because of the tornadoes, do you believe?
I don't think it's a permanent trend here. I think what we're seeing is that there's a lot of volatility in the market right now, and the reason for that is there's a lot of uncertainty. So I think we can anticipate continued reactions from the market, both up and down. I would not get overly concerned about it at this point.
All right, well, Seth, this just coming out, Pfizer saying its new COVID-19 pill reduced risk of hospitalization and death by 89%. How will this affect the markets?
Well, I think, listen, markets like positive news. This is certainly a bit of positive news, especially when you consider the vaccination rate. As Dan alluded to a little bit, the markets are volatile right now because of a lot of uncertainty. I've said it a number of times. I think the markets are overvalued, and they're due for a correction. The Fed is also meeting this week, and I think that the markets are predicting maybe some certainty, hopefully, out of the Fed on interest rates. But nonetheless, the Pfizer news is positive. So given the losses yesterday, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little dip by today on that positive news and the markets be back up.
All right, Dan, I want to switch gears back to those deadly tornadoes. Now, small businesses have already been through so much because of the pandemic, and many were lost in these catastrophic tornadoes. The White House has already ordered federal assistance. What is next for these local owners?
Well, it's going to be quite a battle back. You know, the challenge here is you may very well have many individuals as well as businesses that were either underinsured or not insured at all. That really puts them at a terrible disadvantage to make a comeback here. So what ends up happening is they're going to be really reliant upon federal, state, and local assistance to be able to step in and help them out. Now, what usually happens after these natural disasters is there's a spur in economic activity because of the demand for supplies and labor. But the problem we have here is we already have a shortage. So what it means is this is going to be more costly and take more time to recover than what usually would be the case.
All right, well, Seth, while no numbers are official yet, now initial estimates predict this tornado outbreak to be among the costliest in history. The word $18 billion is being thrown out there. Now, how will this impact the economy as hundreds of businesses try to recover from the pandemic?
Well, there's a couple of key areas, right? And I think, if we look at the entirety of 2020, the United States lost about $36 billion in all storms cumulatively. So this one could be up there in that range. And I think that there's obviously going to be an economic impact regionally, very close to where the tornadoes were. These were very spread out, though. Nationally, all Americans may feel a little bit because insurance premiums may go up based on the overall cost of this. But we shouldn't discount the overall impact, the major impact, which is obviously the loss of human life. And that's really what should be key on everybody's mind. But the economic impact will be significant specifically in these areas.
Well, Dan, the candle factory in Mayfield, Kentucky had 110 people working when the storm hit to meet seasonal demand. Now, we're already dealing with a supply chain crisis. Now, will this devastation cause any further delays, do you believe?
Yeah, it absolutely is. There's no question about, again, as I said before, when we have a shortage of supply and labor and we have an event like this occur, it puts more pressure on all of us economically. And I want to follow up with one thing to keep in mind that Seth just said related to insurance companies. What's going to happen after this, how it impacts all of us is premiums are going to go up because similar to the government, money comes in, money comes out. If you're short, you need to collect more premiums to cover future losses.
Now, Seth, I want to dive in deeper into what Dan just said. Now, what type of impact will these have on insurance agencies? Now, entire cities, they're going to need to be rebuilt. Now, they're saying this is not going to be days. This is not going to be weeks. This is going to be years before everything is rebuilt. How much aid will be provided?
Well, a significant amount. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, we saw about $36 billion in losses. That's combined insurance claims and federal government claims. So that's going to be impactful. The insurance industry is very interesting, though, in the layers that make up. I mean, there's insurance and there's reinsurance for insurance. So almost insurance companies take out insurance policies on their own insurance claims. And so, you know, I don't know that we'll see a significant impact. I'm in Texas, Dan's in New Jersey. We may not feel much of the impact overall, but specifically regionally, and that's really the way that insurance companies oftentimes will rate claims. They're going to look regionally at the area and the losses and those risk pools, and they're going to set claims. So if you're in that region where these tornadoes hit, you're likely going to see a pinch come new premium time.
Dan, we've got about 30 seconds left. Will these storms have any impact on the ongoing inflation?
Yes, they absolutely will. I don't think this helps at all when we have more pressure on having not enough supply and demand keeps rising. Inflation is going to follow suit. So this is not good news for an overall economic standpoint related to inflation.
All righty. A big thank you to our money men, Seth Denson and Dan Geltrude. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
Have a good morning.